Hi everyone, this is Vivek Shrivastava. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we have a very special guest episode. We have David Restrepo with us from New York City. Now, David is the founder of Meroo, and thank you, David, for joining us. Welcome to our channel. Um,
Thank you, Vivek. It's my pleasure.
Wonderful. So tell us about yourself. Tell us about Meroo a little bit.
Great. So I'll tell you my story in a nutshell. I'm from Colombia. I started my career in sales and marketing at Microsoft. And very early in my career, I discovered my entrepreneurial DNA. So I started a company called Roulette, which started in events. At that point, I had 21 years old, and I like to party. So I wanted to create my own bar, but I didn't have the money. So I figured, okay, I'm going to bring the bar to the houses of my customers. And I will bring a DJ, a bartender, a host, photographer, drinks, games, sound, lights, all the things.
Right.
And I remember that I was doing 7 events per month, and I said, okay, let's give it a try. And I resigned to Microsoft. All of my friends called me like, you're crazy. You have this dream job in this dream company very early in your career, and you're going to start this small company. Like, are you crazy? And I was like, well, yes, I'm going to try it. 6 months later, I was doing 20 events per month. 6 months later, 40 events per month. I sold a franchise in Mexico, another franchise in Medellin, which is Colombia's second largest city.
Right.
And I had 20 employees. So it was great. Then I started a second business line in VR. So then I started working with big companies as Coca-Cola and Busch, Adidas, and I created VR experiences and digital experiences for them. So that was another type of business, very interesting. And then COVID came. So when COVID came, my company was going bankrupt because there was no chance of doing any events, any experiences. Companies were not hiring anything, right? And I was freaking out. So I had to pivot my company in a matter of weeks, and we created an e-commerce, an arts and crafts e-commerce. So people will send us an important picture, for example, with their family, with their pet, and then we would create a canvas and send it to them with the paints and all instructions, and they would create a painting that was emotionally important to them. And that started to sell like crazy during COVID. So I took the chance and I sold my shares in the company. Okay. So once I sold my shares in the company, I said, okay, I know I like technology. I know I like entrepreneurship, but what is my mission? Like, do I want to sell chairs? Do I want to sell desks, whatever, just for the fact of being an entrepreneur? Like, no. Okay, I wanted to discover a passion and a mission. So at that time, I decided, and I said, okay, what would I do for free? And I said, okay, for free, I would teach. Like, that's something that I really like. So let's try and teach. I talked with a professor, and I was so lucky that there was a position. One of the adjunct professors was going to have a kid, and she was going to go on maternity leave for the whole semester. So they told me, like, this is an opportunity for you. And I said, of course, absolutely.
Beautiful.
I became a professor.
So all this is in New York City?
No, all that was in Colombia still.
Okay. So
and then...
Okay.
Yeah.
So that party startup was also in Colombia?
That party startup was also in Colombia. Okay. And what I was teaching is that I discovered that my mission in life is to help people reach their highest potential. Once I was able to put a phrase to my mission, I then said, okay, I want to start a company around that mission, and I want to start that company in the US. So I went to pursue a technology MBA at NYU. I came to New York. 1 year, I then became a director of growth at Trip, which is a Series A startup. They do gamified wellness. So I did that almost over 2 years, and then I decided to jump and found Meroo with the idea of helping people reach their highest potential with the use of gamified career guidance, specifically focused for Gen Z. And now I'm in the journey of starting this new startup in the education and career guidance space.
Beautiful, yeah. I've always felt, yeah, if you can gamify education, that's the best way, because then people will want to get educated and it's fun for them.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the fact now is that especially Gen Z, they are a mission-driven generation, but 1/3 of the Gen Z population is completely lost in their career. They have no idea what to do, and they are mission-driven. In the US, 48% of the Gen Z population, they say that they would rather be unemployed than work in a field that they don't like, or do a job that they don't like. And these people, they are not getting the help they need. In the US, almost half of the Gen Z population, they say that they get better advice from ChatGPT than their managers. Imagine that.
Yes.
So, and it's not that their managers are bad people. It's just that they don't have the time, right? So that's why
knowledge, or that particular knowledge to give good advice.
Exactly, and that even the with all the innovations in technology, in AI that we are experiencing as we speak, the most important skills for us are going to be soft skills, are going to be negotiation, leadership, like those skills that are important, are impossible for an AI to perform. And that is all that we are teaching with Meroo.
Beautiful. So it seems like you always had an entrepreneurial streak. You were never the sort of person who would do a 9 to 5 job and be happy with that, right? I think it's safe to say.
It's safe to say. I wasn't one of those people that from the very early days said I want to become an entrepreneur. Like I remember in high school, what motivated me, and it doesn't make me proud to say that, but at that time, what motivated me was only money, and large amounts of money. And I remember saying like, I just want to burn $100 bills, like if it's nothing, right?
Or light the cigar with them. Right?
Exactly, or light a cigar with them, right? But then in college, I started working with a professor, and his area of research was ethics in business, and how businesses should create an impact more than money to the shareholders.
Right.
And I was at the beginning like, what is this old guy trying to say? Like, businesses are not for making money? Like, this guy is crazy. But then I started working with him, being his research assistant, and he was really influential in my career because it shifted the priorities. Now it wasn't about money, it was about impact. And now I measure my success in terms of impact. How many people am I impacting? Is my service important enough? Is my idea going to change the world or not? Like, now is that focus instead of having a lot of money in the bank. Of course, if you do things right, if you serve a population, if you're solving a problem, a meaningful problem, if you're generating impact, of course that comes with money. But my priorities shifted a lot, and I am thankful for that, because it gave more meaning to my life.
Well, I think you were quite young too. I think when you're 21, you just, it's natural to want to party and have money and, have fun. But I know, I, on the other hand, though, I was a student at the time, so it was just, just a poor student. So there wasn't much scope of all of that for me. But yeah. Now, David, I want to ask you this question for both your startups because you've done two. So for your La Roulette, um, tell us about the early days of that. Because you made it happen. Now the whole thing about parties is logistics, right? Because you have to get all the stuff at the place, you have to get it all together, it has to be done on time, otherwise the party is ruined, and everything has to be there, the ice has to be cold, and the drinks have to be on good, and all that. So tell me about the early days of that, and then how you expanded, and did you have to hire staff, and all of that.
Right. The very early days in La Roulette, which are now the early days I'm experiencing right now with Meroo,
Right.
are a lot of fun for me personally. Like having an idea in your mind, right, and turn that idea into a product, into a reality. That's a lot of fun,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And in both cases, I enjoyed it very much. When I was in La Roulette, I remember during my weekends or sometimes at night after Microsoft, my co-founder was also at Microsoft. We would go meet, ideate like with a huge whiteboard and start thinking. Then during the weekends, start building. I did that as well with Meroo. I would work in the weekends with a product designer and start ideating the app, creating a demo, finding my technical co-founder. Like all of that is for me is very exciting, right? The whole ideation part. Then there is a very difficult situation once you have your product, which is finding that product market fit, finding the right customers, finding the right product. That is not necessarily the best time for me, like in terms of like fun, right? It's not necessarily the most fun because there is a lot of ambiguity, there are a lot of unknowns, there are moments when you question yourself, right? Because it's like, am I going in the right direction? People are not buying my product, and you had a lot of fun before thinking a lot of like all of these ideas, and thinking that your product was perfect because of course you put your heart and your mind into that product, and then when people don't buy it, it's like, what? It's like the worst kind of rejection that you can get. It's even worse than asking a girl to dance or something like that, and then she's saying no. Like this is worse, right? And there are moments, and for example, right now it's different, and the stakes are higher because before La Roulette was a bootstrap company. I didn't raise anything. I started with $1,000 each with my co-founder, and then we were doing more than 200,000 K a year or more with that small investment.
Beautiful.
In this case with Meroo, I'm looking for investors. I need investors to develop my whole product. So there are more rejections, there are more pressure, and the roller coaster is more difficult than before, as well as my expectations from me, because I already know what I'm capable of, are higher right now. So this second step after ideating your product and launching the product, it is exciting because of course we're showing the product, but it's also stressful because your product is not finished, your vision is not realized yet, and you get a lot of rejection. So in that moment, the most important thing is to stay firm and steady. Have a plan and execute your plan, and don't bother for all the noise you're going to hear. Like, I'm going to do this I'm going to follow my vision. Of course, you have to take input from the market, input from your customers, and be flexible. Like, I think that you have to be completely inflexible with your mission, with your purpose, but you have to be completely flexible on how you get there.
Yes.
And that exploration process sometimes feels like you are in a jungle, right? And you're in a jungle with huge trees and you have no idea where to go. You might seem lost, but then there is a moment where maybe there is one customer that gives you a special feedback. Maybe there is an insight. Maybe in La Roulette, the insight was the way we monetized our events or the way we presented our events. That was completely different, and that at the same time with finding a different marketing channel or becoming very good in one marketing channel, that was how we experienced a 3x growth in a matter of 6 months. Now with Meroo, I'm figuring that out.
Nice. That was very, very valuable information, especially the part about how you don't give up on the mission, but then you take whatever course corrections are needed to get to the mission successfully.
Correct.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. I myself am facing a lot of that. I had a lot of challenges, but I'm still plugging away, and I'm actually going to be releasing in a couple of months from now, so that should be
Fantastic. That's exciting.
Yeah, yeah. And like you said, also, the fun and not fun part. I personally also love the parts where I'm creating something like the world has never seen before. That part I really, really enjoy. But then, of course, like you said, when you get the rejections or when things don't work out the way you plan, then that's painful. And then you have to be strong. That's the key. You have to be very, very strong and don't let it affect you emotionally, and just be strong emotionally and keep moving forward. Yeah, and I think you're going to have some challenges with Meroo. I mean, obviously, I wish you the best, but you've had the success in that La Roulette, but now this is a completely different beast, and this is a beast that I have been wrestling with. So I know a little something about this, and I'm like, okay, he's gonna. While you were talking, I was already thinking, okay, he's gonna run into this, he's gonna run into that, he's gonna run into that. I was already, because I've run into them myself. So anyway, that's great. But I want to hear a little bit more about the growth stage of La Roulette. So what happened when you got to the point where you couldn't do it yourself, or you and a friend couldn't do it? You had to hire maybe another person or 2 people or 3 people. How was that? And you even, I think earlier you spoke about franchising it. You had it in different cities. So how did that go? Because if you're in one city and it's happening in another city, then someone else is doing that for you. So you have to, you're not in charge as such. I mean, even though you may be the boss, you're not there taking control. So for all of that.
Yeah, so it was becoming very tough because it was only my co-founder and I at the beginning. And it was my co-founder, our 2 girlfriends, and I, honestly, because it was my co-founder and I from Monday to Thursday doing marketing campaigns, strategy, figuring all things out. And then in the weekends, it was when the parties started, right? And then I was the host, my co-founder was the DJ, and then our girlfriends were the bartenders. And we would do that Friday, Saturday, Friday, Saturday. Then it became, now we have 2 events a day. Oh, how are we going to do? Okay, I go with my girlfriend to one, you go with your girlfriend to the other one, and let's call one friend so that they can help us being the host. That was the easiest job to be, right?
Right.
And then I remember one day we were going to sell 4 events per month for that day, one day, and I said, "Oh, we cannot. We don't have the people, right?" And that's when we said, "Okay, now it's time to hire because we are losing opportunities And we started with our close circle of friends because we were students at the time, right? So we needed the money to go and do whatever we wanted. So we said to our friends, "Hey, you like to party? Would you like to learn how to be a bartender? Would you like to learn how to be a DJ? You can meet nice people as a host."
Right.
So we would do these Thursday nights at my place or at my co-founder's place, where we would teach people how to be DJs, how to be bartenders, and our friends were our employees for the weekend. But then that wasn't scalable, and our friends said, "Oh no, I am tired today. I don't want to work," because they didn't have the need. It wasn't a need for them. So we had to find people that this was their need, their job, um, and we started opening up to our community. And we said, "Hey, we're looking for bartenders. We're looking for DJs," and then we will have like 100 people. I remember what time 100 people applied to those roles. We at that time we already had an office, so people came to the office. We did some kind of role play to see how they will handle with different difficult situations at the parties and all. And we started building our group every Wednesday, or actually bi-weekly. Every Wednesday, people will come to the office. We would play a game. We would pay them for the events they did, and sometimes we would learn something. So by that time, we were already good partners with Pernod Ricard, and some of their bartenders and brand associates would come to our office and give us an introduction to a new kind of liquor, or teach us how to prepare cocktails in a special way, whatever. So we built our own community, and there was one day, for example, where we did 8 events in one day. So it was a journey, but I would say what it was important was to have a clear mission in mind. For us, it was more about than partying. For us, our slogan was live differently, and what we said is that you start living differently in the moment you celebrate differently your special moments in life. That was like the whole thing. And we thought at that time that we were doing something really meaningful for us. It was not a party, only a party. It was your birthday. It was your wedding. It was your bachelorette. It was like your special day, a day that maybe it was never going to happen again.
Right.
So for us, it was hugely meaningful, and everyone like put a lot of emotion and their heart into the celebrations, and that gave us a North Star, right? That gave us a North Star, and that was the moment where my team was able to do the events even better than I did. And at that moment, I was able to go to sleep in my weekends, finally, after 2 years for not sleeping in my weekends.
But you can't complain. You wanted to have fun. You wanted to party, and you got it. So,
Yeah,
you know.
I got it. And now it's like, they tell me, "Hey, could you organize an event for us?" No, there is no chance I'm going to organize an event anytime in my life again.
So now you're in New York City. If I may ask, to a personal level, it's one of the best places to party on the planet, really. So are you involved in kind of the party circuit in any way, shape, or form, or you're just kind of out of all of that?
Oh yeah, I go party, but I don't organize anything. I don't even organize the pregame for the party anymore. It's like, you tell me we're going to this place, before, like I just go. But I am not organizing anymore. What I'm organizing right now in New York is a founder collective.
Beautiful.
It's a founder collective for specifically focus on B2C founders, because I think investors are very focused on B2B SaaS companies, and there are a lot of B2B SaaS investors, a lot of B2B SaaS founders, and B2C founders are struggling, right? B2C founders are struggling to find the right investors and the right support. And we said with a friend, like, no, this is over, and we're going to start our own collective. the vision is to create a tight group of mission-driven founders, high-impact founders, so that then as we grow, we can then introduce founders from the collective to different investors interested in the B2C space. And so I guess I'm still organizing events, right? I'm
Well,
still meeting with organizing
that's
these
good
events for
because you have expertise in it. So good.
yeah. It's
You,
great, and in New York, there are people with a great talent from all around the world, and I think that in New York
right.
is taking more and more from Silicon Valley. Maybe in some years from now, maybe a decade from now, New York would be the epicenter of entrepreneurship.
Probably, but let me tell you this: India, my God, the entrepreneur scene here. So many people doing amazing startups and so many new things. I think India is going to be a very big player in the startup world as well. I think
Absolutely.
because I'm going to events as part of my sort of, you could say, pre-marketing journey, and it's pretty amazing all the things I'm seeing.